Ooh, that kind of caught me off guard. Welcome back to another episode of AWS On Air, a weekly show where we talk about the latest and greatest AWS announcements, launches, and just really cool stuff that we're working on over here at AWS. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Todd Fortier. I'm a senior solutions architect here at AWS, where I focus on developing solutions for the AWS Solutions Library. If you've never heard of that, I highly encourage you to go check out all the cool solutions we've got over there. AWS at Amazon.com/solutions. That's my shameless plug for the day. AM, welcome to the show. Our first time hosting together. I'm excited.
Yeah, I was gonna point that out. Look, they finally had the courage to put us together, Todd. They were afraid. I think they were afraid.
Well, I think there was a policy of how many hosts could wear hats on the show at any one given time.
That was my policy, actually. I made that up. Yeah. I am Carmelli. I am one of your hosts and a developer advocate for Game Day at AWS. Also, one of my shows here at the on-air channel, the Game Day show. You should come check it out. Step up your game day. It's on the first Thursday of the month. We got a bunch of shows. We should do plugs for all the shows, Todd. Not just mine. But I'll just let that one sink in for everybody as they're all joining. We're live, by the way. Speaking of, we're live. Hello.
Live. Hi. Hello. Drop a comment in the chat. Let us know where you're coming from. We've got some exciting stuff. I think I'm really pumped for today's segment. I think it's going to get creative. It's going to get engaging. I'm really hoping that our audience just tunes in and just gives us a bunch of ideas. And so I'm excited to get into it. But you said something about our other shows. Let's get into some of those other shows. One of my favorites, AWS On Air Sports. I'm kind of a sports junkie, so I love seeing all the cool ways AWS is innovating with analytics and different cool stuff we do in the sports world. We've also got Startups with Jillian, who dives deep into what are some of our really cool startups doing with AWS. What else we got, Am?
We got Under the Hood with Art, where if you are a compute, aficionado, you're going to want to tune in because Art's going to cover all of the different compute things going on at AWS, which is a lot. We got Kyle on lockdown, so all things security. I know some of you are joining us potentially just from another security show on AWS. So if you love security, be sure to check out Kyle's show Lockdown. And of course, Data Drive. So if you are into data, that's your show.
Data Dive.
Thank you.
I like Data Drive.
Data Drive.
Let's go for a quick data drive.
Yeah. What do you put data on? A drive. Yeah, I mean, they didn't even consult me.
Yeah, we didn't think about that.
I know.
Data
dive. Thank you.
All things data. So, Am, I hear we're being promoted in the UK and Canada today. So, welcome all my Canadian friends and European friends to the show. If you're tuning in from Canada, let us know where in Canada. I have a very French Canadian background, if you can't tell by my name. Although, if you are Canadian, I would love
corrected, Todd. We're getting corrected in the background background chat from our producer Nick. He's telling us we're actually boosted in the good old US of A today.
Oh, I got tricked.
So get out your denim jackets. Put on some Bruce Springsteen. We were born in the US of A.
There goes my whole Canadian shtick. I was gonna
practiced it too.
I was gonna attempt some French, but USA, that's cool too. I like the USA. Go USA. Hey, great turnout in the Olympics. Olympics.
Yeah. We both are in the US currently right now. I was very jealous when we were doing the promo for the show. In case you missed the promo, we're gonna have some goat content today. We're gonna have some goats featured pretty heavily throughout the demo today, because Todd, Are you just passionate about goats? Why do you have goats on your farm?
Coming hot out of the barn with some goat content here already. So I wouldn't say I'm necessarily passionate about goats, but my wife and I are sort of getting back to the land, doing that whole developer to farmer pipeline, which is a very real thing. So we bought some acreage outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I'm hosting from, and it's all weeds and overgrown stuff. And we didn't really want to poison all that and just dump a bunch of chemicals into the ground. And so we thought, next best thing, let's get a couple goats and have them start grazing them back there. So we have 7 goats on about 10 acres right now, chewing through. And so they got their moment of glory on our promo. We also have about 130 chickens, and we sell eggs at the local farmers market. So we're kind of, we're being cool, hipster kind of, back to the land folks. So when it bounces out, I'm working all day in high tech. I'm getting into the cloud, and I just need a little bit of time to just sort of disconnect and unplug. And so I do that outside and in the garden. So that's really
I'll offer up, maybe if chat's really nice today, maybe if chat interacts with us, maybe Todd will share some of the goat names that you have. And if you don't have goat names for the goats, maybe we can make up some goat names.
So about half of them have names, and most of them are NSFW.
Well, that's fine. So maybe that promise is not made in earnest. Maybe I'm going to go back on my word there, but maybe we can make up some goat names with you, chat, especially as we get into our first segment, because we're going to be generating some goat meme images, I believe, with our friends over in Amazon Titan, right?
That's right. We're rolling on some generative AI, but I'm excited about this This is sort of new. This is something I haven't really got to experience a lot. We've talked a lot about text generation and generative AI, chat bots, and all the cool things with guardrails. I did a show a few weeks ago about guardrails. So we get into that space a lot, but today we're going to be talking about image generation, which is something new for me. And I saw a preview of this just before this show. I'm pretty excited about some of the goat content we have coming up.
Gotta love the diffusion models. I'm being corrected again, Todd. So everybody watching us, this is live. We're live. Hello, hi. How's it going? We are being promoted in the UK and Canada. You could have tried out your French.
Wait. We are being in the UK and Canada.
We are. So tell us your favorite Shoresy episode over there in Canada, and UK. You can tell us all about the new Doctor Who season, I guess. Todd, you can drop some French later on. How about that?
I would love to hear somebody pronounce my name, because I pronounce it a very terribly over Americanized 4-tier. It's very simple 4-tier. It's like, it's not cool way, but I would love for some French folks to help me French it up.
Fortier. Yeah. All right. Shout out to Grassy, Canada. All right.
I think should we bring in our first guest?
Shall we transition into the first segment?
Getting off the rails here.
Yeah. Please, Nick, help us.
Help us. Hello, welcome to our first segment of our Friday show of AWS On Air. Welcome to the show, Yan. Thank you. Why don't you quick introduce yourself and what you do at AWS and let the folks know who you are.
Sure. Hi, everyone. This is Yan from AWS. I have been AWS for 4.5 years already, and my title is Senior Generative AI Data Scientist. And maybe you get curious, my daily job is to use these, smart models to create fancy applications.
Very cool. So today, data scientist, that's a pretty cool title. I aspire to be a scientist, but I don't know that I'm smart enough to be able to do that. But Yan, so when you say data scientist, you're working with Gen AI models. That's pretty much what you're doing most of the day.
Yeah, basically.
Is there a particular team or service you work with the most?
Well, actually, a lot. Like, I'm from Amazon Bedrock team, so we work with multiple models, foundation models like image models, text models, or even more.
Cool. Yeah, we've had a lot of show content about Bedrock, and every day they're coming up with something new and launching something cool and making it cooler and cooler. But like I said earlier in the beginning of the show, this is the first time I get to see some image generation and maybe help us understand the difference between text generation. Where are the overlaps here? I know we're still talking prompts. We're still talking some of the I don't know where are we at with image generation versus text generation.
Sure. So actually, if we just take it simple, so image generation means you give text input and image output versus text model is normally you give text input and text output. But for if we talk about use case based, normally text-based model can do something more help you interpret text, right? And do something like classification, do something even more like code generation. But with image model, we're trying to be more creative here, help you generate more image based and have more image based applications. Yeah.
So Yan,
Mhm.
for anybody new to the Amazon Titan line of models, I've used a couple of them. I've used the embeddings model that's out there. There's a text model out there, and we're here to talk about the image generation model. This is V2, right? We're talking about the launch of V2. How
Yeah.
is it different? What are the improvements from V2 as compared to V1?
Sure. Thanks, AM. I'm really glad you bring it up. So basically, Titan Image Generator, as its name tells, it's a model to generate images, right? And with V1, actually, we already have a lot of fancy features. We can do text to image, which is the most fundamental but the key like feature. But on top of that, we also allow people to do in painting, which means you provide a mask and we can add it and reconstruct everything, inside that mask, or out painting, which means we construct everything outside that mask. Basically, you can do, image like expansion or even change your background. But all these features are supported with V2. But on top of that, we actually allow you to do more control, have more control this time about the image you generate. So previously, you can only generate image based on your text prompt, but this time we allow you to do something like image conditioning. So in addition to your text prompt, you also provide reference image, and the model will learn from your reference image and generate the image from like using same layout and components, to generate your image. And we also have features like color plating. And this is very unique feature. So basically, you provide a hex code, and it will learn. It will basically use the hex code you provide to generate images. And we this time will also allow some new feature like background removal. So customer just need to provide a image, and we will help them to extract the object out from the image, and without those backgrounds.
That's really
And
cool. That's
yeah.
really cool. Yeah. And I think, I don't have a graphics background, but I'm often in need of graphics for like creating thumbnails of content that I make and things like that. And, I've spent a lot of time learning some of these graphic programs, and some of them can be very complex, but it sounds like you can use some of the features here in Titan Image Generator V2 without having to learn like how to go and do masking or how to go and just do background removal. It just takes care of it for you, right? So it kind of
Exactly.
augments like your abilities as a graphics designer. Is that the type of use cases and things that you're seeing people use this to do?
Yeah, actually, I would say, it is a model for everyone, basically, everyone who is interested in creating, new images. But I can also think about some industry or some professions that are being benefited by this model. So one thing I can probably name is about, for example, marketing campaign. So you can generate images, for certain product. And I can also think about something like for real estate. So basically, if you want to do virtual staging and you have a certain layout that you want to provide to the model, and with the image conditioning feature, it will be able to generate image based on the layout you provide. So it is super cool, right?
That was really cool.
I think it's really cool. I tell you one thing that you just mentioned that I'm really excited about: background removal. Something that you would think would be like an easy thing to do. I've downloaded Photoshop and some of these other GIMP and these other, and I am terrible at removing. Maybe it's just because I don't know how to use the tool, but I often find myself needing to remove a background and just isolate some aspect of an image. So I'm really excited to kind of see that one in action. And I love that you got into some of the use cases. We talked about marketing materials, designing. I was a developer for a long time. I cannot tell you how many hours I've spent in stock image libraries trying to find it's not, I don't know, it's not a big thing, but I'm so picky about it. So I have some questions. Maybe we should get into the demo because I think they're more contextual in what we're going to see in the demo. Should we bring up your screen and kind of see what we're talking about?
Sure, I'm excited for that. But by the way, like I will be facing this direction, Todd and AM, because my screen is here. So please don't get upset with me on this.
Hey, we'll bring it back. You got a massive screen, I can tell already. So you look at that screen as much as you need to, and we'll make sure that we bring you back.
Sure, thank you. So I'm actually planning to present this one based on a use case. So let's assume we are from a company called Oak Tank, and this company is a premium dog food company. And like the features we plan to use in this workshop is actually to do four things. First is to do the basic text to image one. So we'll try to create a symbolic dog image for Oak Tank. And then we want
before we get too far into the use case, what are we looking at right here? I see Jupyter up in the left-hand corner. I see this big long URL. For folks who might not be familiar with this interface, what service or interface are we using here at AWS?
Sure, I'm using the SageMaker notebook. It's like a native service that can do this. This notebook is very interactive, very helpful for most data scientists.
Oh, cool. So you can go into an AWS account today, launch SageMaker. I know we have a number of services under SageMaker, but Quick Start's a good place to start, or Jumpstart's a good place to start. You can launch a Jupyter notebook of your own and then start running through this code. Okay, so I'm in the right spot. Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you. We're going to do some text image.
Yeah, no problem. So we can do text to image, and we will also cover the image conditioning like we just introduced. And we also will go over the color conditioning. Basically, you just provide the hash code to the model. And lastly, we were going to do the background removal, like you get super excited about. So before we start, let's just do some setup. Since we're using Python here, so we will need to import several libraries, have the Boto3 here, to run the Bedrock runtime. This is the API we're going to call. And we also define some utility function. This is just my plot function. So I definitely believe you can do something better than me, but yeah, this is a plot function I'm going to use here. So let's dive deep here. The first use case we're going to cover is text to image. So let's provide a simple, prompt to the model. The prompt I'm going to give is generate a photo of a happy and healthy American Eskimo sitting on the grass with a football full of kibble nearby. And I can optionally provide some negative prompts. This is optional, but since I don't really want to have low resolution or low quality image, so I will just tell the model, okay, don't give me this thing, low resolution or low quality stuff.
Oh, yeah. And let's pause there for
I
just a
specify
second.
to the model, I want to do text to image task here.
Yeah,
Sure.
You said something new. I just want to slow down just a minute. You said prompt, and then you said negative prompt. I've never heard the term negative prompt. What's the difference between a prompt and a negative prompt?
Sure, thanks, Todd, bringing it up. So basically, prompt is the things you want from the model, right? And negative prompt means the things you don't want the model to generate with. So
Okay,
this is optional. You can directly, like you can, you don't have to provide it, but if you do, the model will try to. Yeah.
I think we might be experiencing some lag. This is what happens when you speak live on the internet on a Friday, some bandwidth. But so we have the prompt. That's what we want. And I've always done maybe intuitively done negative prompting in my prompts, where I say explicitly in the prompt, I don't want this thing. But you're saying we can actually call out a negative prompt, say you don't want anything low resolution, low quality. Exactly. And I can see how we can expand from there. Like, don't include this other type of dog or this kind of. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. But just please make sure, like, since you are providing negative prompt, so tell the model like the things you don't want, but don't say, okay, don't include another don't here, just don't give it a double negative. Just make sure that. Yeah,
just like
and
here speaking English.
Yeah, and here are some parameters like the height, for the image, like we provide, and this is the way we call the API, the Bedrock API. And once we've done that, ta-da! Here's the image we got, and here's the keyboard, the football we have for this cutie dog.
So I think
Sorry,
I love it.
One more image for dog. I know, I know you're upset about this.
It's amazing, Yan Yan. I think One thing to call out real quick. For anybody who's new to Bedrock, who hasn't used Bedrock yet, I think it may seem obvious to us since we're familiar with it, but that model isn't anywhere near this SageMaker environment. That model is in Bedrock, right? So like you don't have to go worry about deploying the Titan image generator v2 model yourself, right? It's deployed through Bedrock, and then Bedrock surfaces up an API where you can send over prompts. Is that right?
Exactly. And since you mentioned like Bedrock is actually a serverless service, so basically you don't have to manage any infrastructure. You just need to call the API, and the model will return the result back to you.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and before I head into the next feature, I want to generate something like to cheer Todd up because I feel some low low air here. Yeah, so let's generate a goat image. Let's do extreme sports action photo surfing, right? An anthropomorphic goat surfing, dramatic and cinematic. This is my prompt, and similarly, I keep everything the same, and let's see what it gives. Ah, you like it?
A goat surfing. First time I've ever seen a goat surfing. But yeah, I love the stylistic, the kind of, it's really action oriented. This looking right at the camera. That's pretty wild.
Just from a cinematic. It's definitely cinematic. It's not my first time seeing a goat surfing. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Surfing.
That does look like a nice goat.
Oh, thanks.
Very, very clean. Much cleaner than the goats that I'm pushing around this 10 acres over here.
Super cool. Yeah, actually, and looking at this one, actually, I was thinking we have so many superheroes, right, these days. Why don't we have a goatman? Let's call it goatman. So I was asking the model if you can help me generate a superhero goatman surfing the board. And here we go. Yeah, we have a goatman.
I'm obsessed. I am obsessed with this. Todd, I know we've talked a lot about we've got a lot of instruments in our backgrounds here. You got the guitars, I've got guitars and bass. I think this could be a good album cover for us if we ever kick off the band.
I actually kind of like the name as a band, Goatman. Like that's a great
Yeah, and you're doing amazing things for us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love this one. Okay, so without deviating our conversation too much, I'm going to then show the new feature, the image conditioning one. So let's bring the story back to our Octank, the food.
Okay, yeah. So what we just saw was a very basic prompt so you gave it a prompt, you said make this, and this is what it came up. Now we're going to get into a little bit more of the control features of those of that generation.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
and
cool.
These are the new features. Actually, the following features are all new features for V2 model specifically. So the image conditioning, we support two modes here. One mode is called canny edge. So canny edge means you can extract the edges from the reference images to generate your image. And we have another mode called segmentation. So segmentation can help you define, specific region or objects within the reference image to generate your image. So let's see, take some real example here. The first one, let's use the canny edge here. And we want to generate a cartoon dog with dog food in a fairy world. So you can imagine in a fairy world, a dog with dog food in a fairy world. And ta-da, here's the reference image I provide. Is from our previous conversation with the model. And this is the processed image. You can see it is preserving the layout, right? The edge, the dog is here in the center of the image, and the dog food is here. So it's actually following what we provide to the model. And another use case we can think about is like, okay, so Octank already have some commercial image. They like it, they like the layout, but they just want to generate with a different scene. So let's see, we want to have a happy golden retriever dog loves his dog food during sunset time, and everything. Let's keep everything else the same. So this is the reference image I have. It has the components of a happy dog, some dog food, a human in the background, and its house. And this is what we have in the generated image. So the golden retriever, like we request, and some dog food. The human is here, also the background house. So basically, it is preserving the layout as well as the components you provide through reference image and generate something based on your prompt.
Nice. So if there's something, so let's say I find an image. let's say I find an image that's very close to what I want, but there's something just not right about it. So I can say, hey, this is pretty much what I want, but tweak this aspect of it, and then get back an image that's closer to maybe what I want aesthetically. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that.
One thing I'm thinking about through right now, too, for the audience. Number one, we're live. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. I love hanging out with you on Fridays, but drop your questions in chat if you have any. And we're going to have a question for you coming up. So I need you to start thinking about that now. I believe, Yan Yan, we're going to let the audience maybe, if they're nice, remember, I'll remind the audience, positive vibes, everybody. That's it. That's all we accept here. But if they're nice, they can give us some prompts, and maybe we can work through creating some images with the help of chat. So start thinking about it now, chat. Sorry to interrupt Yan Yan, but want them to get their thinking caps on.
Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, so let's maybe then talk about the color conditioning. That color conditioning we talk about. So this is assume like this is the branding color like Octane has, and there are yellow, the blue, and also the gray. So we want to generate our image using this color code. So we just need to provide the hex code for these three colors to the model and a prompt. The prompt is a happy American Eskimo runs in the blossom yard. This is my prompt. And with the hex code together, I'm going to use the task color guided generation. And let's see what it gives me. So this is the color code, and this is what we have. A happy dog, a yellow ground, and some blue background. You see, it is using the color code you provide and generate images based on it.
What's really impressive to me is that it also
what's even more better for this model is that you can also provide.
Oh, did I? I was just gonna say, Yan Yan. What's really impressive to me is that not only did it know like the color, applying the colors is very cool, but it also knew where to apply the colors to make a sensical image. Like it wouldn't have made sense if the dog was blue, right? So it made the fence blue and the dog is white, and so like not only does the image use the colors, but it makes sense. And this is where the marketing juices start flowing. It's like, okay, one of the first things you're doing in branding is coming up with that color composite. Like, what do you want the brand style to be early on? You might come up with a palette, and then you can roll with that palette into this and have a sensical image. So that's really impressive. That's cool. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that.
Sure, thanks, Todd. Exactly, I agree with you. And one more thing we can do is to provide a reference image to this model. So you provided the color code already, right? And you provide another reference image, and the model will learn the reference image style and do a style transfer for you. So let's assume we use the same prompt with the same color code, but just with another reference image for a dog. And let's see. So here's the color code, but I may be wrong. I'm totally not in that field, but this is what it gives me. So you see, it is not generating like a photorealistic photo this time. It's generating some like a paint, following this style basically.
So, Yan Yan, what? Sorry, I know it takes a second for the lag. The lag is causing some issues, but what can you use all of these features in combination? We saw the reference image, we saw the color palette, all of these new. It seems like all of these new features can be used in conjunction with one another.
So color conditioning can be used together with image we call it instant customization feature.
Okay.
So it's not specifically the same as the image conditioning we were saying. So it's still a little bit different because you see we are not learning the layout, right? The dog is not at the right place as this dog, but we are doing like instant customization together with color conditioning here. Yeah.
Interesting.
Thanks for bringing that
up. So
it
is a little different.
And before we get into the next and before we get into the next feature, so Todd, I have one more thing for you. So assuming Octang now wants to open a new product line to produce goat food, and let's generate maybe a goat food ad campaign for it. So let's have a goat riding surfboard still using this reference image and this color code. Let's see what we have. Ta-da! I really like this chubby goat.
Yeah, it's a chubbier one.
Yeah.
So
Hope
it's
you.
same thing compositionally. It's kind of painted. It's not photorealistic, but we're still sticking with a goat goat on a surfboard.
That's that Beyonce song, you know, Goat Bort.
You know, hey, we're starting to get some like names too in the chat here. We've got Gotiski and Beelzebub. I don't know if I that one's out there.
I love it.
Great food is tin cans, right? Or did cartoons lie to me? Is that
That's
you?
me.
That's you, Am?
Yes, I'm chatting to myself right now. Yes.
Perfect. So let's take a final look at the background removal feature. So it's super simple. You just provide a reference image. You provide an image here, like a dog food pet, and you just call the API with this image. You don't even need to feed in any prompt here. So this is what we gave, and this is what we get. So it is able to extract this dog food out, and you can see some challenging part like this shadow. Originally, it was super hard for the model to recognize the shadow, but now all the shadow are gone as well. So it is just replying you with this object you want.
Yeah, that is crisp.
So this is a background removal. Yeah, so I would like to maybe open up the prompt, the model with the audience, and let's probably try some prompt the audience has.
Here we go.
Yeah, get those prompts in chat, y'all. If you want to see and influence what we do here. Otherwise, Todd and I are going to take it because.
How about for our Canadian friends? Let's see a goat playing hockey.
What would that team be called?
But maybe I can show you some pineapple pizza first, Todd and AM, because I heard we have a great history about pineapple pizza. So we have a photo of a goat eating pizza with pineapple on it. So, we have the goat with a pineapple pizza.
Yeah, looks happy about
maybe not as sad as you want, but it is. Yeah, maybe she likes it. It's not that bad, right?
I can assure you, if you put a pineapple pizza in front of a goat, it will eat the pineapple pizza. There's no doubt about it. I often am fending myself just from like it will try to eat my shorts if I let it. It's a problem, really. But
is that scientifically proven through experiments you've conducted yourself? Todd?
Goats will eat anything. It's just a known fact of the world. They'll eat anything.
Specifically, the pineapple on pizza.
No. Well,
pieces that you're dropping. That's what I want.
So there's another. Even though they will eat anything, doesn't mean they should. And there's another half of that equation that is not great for us. Nobody wants a sick goat.
No.
I see a prompt here. Generate an image of a goat playing hockey. Let's paste it here. But before that, do we want to see one more goat photo? Like just using the color code. Let's use the color plate. And here's what I get.
Wow.
I kind of enjoy this one.
Wait, is that goat
the
taking
pineapple
a shower
pizza
too?
is such a small one.
Goat with the arms up on the table too.
Maybe.
That goat looks like
funny, right?
they've been lifting.
Okay.
You know.
That's a jacked goat.
Yeah. Spend some time in the gym. So
let's use.
We had a question from chat, Yan. We got a question from chat, Yan. They're asking, is this based off of a diffusion model, right? They're specifically calling out Stable Diffusion, which is a specific company bringing in a model. And no, this is the Amazon Titan image generator, but is behind the scenes the Titan image generator model a diffusion model?
Well, that's actually a good question, and I don't know if I can release this information. So let's maybe we have SME standby in the chat.
Yeah,
so maybe we can ask him about this.
In chat. Sounds good. Cool.
Okay.
We got a prompt. Can we get a picture of a goat on the parallel bars? The Olympics.
Sure.
Gymnastics routine.
Oh, we have another one. Okay.
Yeah, I like this. It takes it takes a second though, Yan. So we've got once we submit the prompt, it's going to take a few seconds for the model to stitch together the. Okay.
Well,
so it's a little hard to have a goat holding a hockey stick. I can see.
yeah, how could
Yeah.
they hold this hockey become a problem? Maybe, with the reference image is better. It will not generate a photo, but maybe a cartoon. I guess that might be a better, right? Like an animation style.
I like it.
But
I like
let's
we're
use
staying true to our promo on the socials this week. We said we were going to get into some goat content, and we really are hitting the goat content.
Yeah. So maybe one more. We could do the parallel bars.
Sure.
A goat doing a gymnastics routine on the parallel bars.
Sure, let's see it.
Nick is allowing us to end with that. He's very generous. I have to shout out our producer, Nick.
Thanks,
Very
Nick.
generous. All right. And as we wrap up, maybe we could get some of those. Oh, wow. There you go.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. As we wrap up, Yan, this model is available in Bedrock. People can go start using it today. Is that what you recommend? Just go in there and start using it?
Yeah, sure, definitely. And we also have a GitHub sample available. We have all the code samples available there. So please check it out.
Very nice. Thank you for joining us today, Yan. You have helped us further goat memes in the internet, which is a very important goal for us. So thank you.
Thank you for having me here. Bye.
Thanks,
All right. We'll see you next time. Well, Todd, how do you feel? How do you feel? Do you feel like we made a good dent there?
I feel like I am pumped for Amazon Bedrock. I went for it. Is it gonna land?
You did it. You did it.
Nick told me he would give me $20 if I did a goat bleat live.
Nick says a lot of things. I'll be very curious to see if you actually get that $20, Todd. I don't think you will.
No, probably just $10 in AWS credits. And speaking of $10 in AWS credits, you see what I did there?
I did. What a transition.
Check out our survey. Please fill our survey. I'm still going for the world record. I think we've got I don't even know if we've broken 100 on the survey, but our goal is to get as many surveys completed so Nick's weekend is ruined. That's my goal every week. So go ahead, fill out the survey. We want to know what you think about the show, what you think about goats and image generators, and if you have ideas for new content, submit that through the survey and get $10 in AWS credits. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's hear from you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for dropping that survey, and those results are really important because they shape the future of the show. They shape the content. They also give Nick something to do on a Friday night as he sifts through the results. So please fill that out. I believe, Todd, we've got a video from our pals at NVIDIA. I think our own Adrian San Miguel might be in this, interviewing some NVIDIA content. What do you think?
Adrian, back with the sponsor content. He's been killing it on the NVIDIA stuff. Yeah, it's cool. So we've NVIDIA, our sponsor. We've got a recording here that we're going to get into. I'm ready.
Let's play it.
Do it.
Hey, folks. Welcome to another episode of AWS On Air. My name is Adrian San Miguel. I'm a principal partner enterprise architect here at AWS, and today I'm joined with some very interesting folks that I think you're going to be talking about, showing and telling about some of the solutions they've built with us, as well as our friends over at NVIDIA. Today, I'm joined by Kevin and Tara. Say hey, folks.
Hello. Hi.
Now, random question, and to put you on the spot, are you a dog person or a cat person? Would like
5 cats. 5 cats.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got one for the cat. Coffee and dogs. Oh, we're gonna go out. I like cats too. Wow, I am not a cat person whatsoever. I have a long story and history of being bitten on the leg by cats as a kid at my grandma's, so I kind of fell team dog a little more earlier than I probably should have, but I digress. We're not here to talk about that today. Today, we are here to talk about how you folks at Rescale were able to come together with NVIDIA and AWS and build something pretty cool. And would love to hear, for the benefits of our audience that may not be familiar with NVIDIA and what they do and what you do. Would love to hear in your own words what it is that you're doing, why you think this is so cool.
Yeah, I can take that one. So Rescale builds and offers a high-performance computing platform for engineers and scientists, and we make it really easy for them to do their research. So if you think about it, if you're designing a new car or designing new pharmaceuticals, before you start building physical prototypes or running drug trials, you'll typically do a lot of computer modeling and simulation. It's much faster and much more cost-effective to iterate on designs when you're using simulations or AI.
Yeah.
However, building and orchestrating a high-performance computing technology stack to run these simulations, it's really complex. You have to consider everything from all the applications, all the computing hardware that's needed, everything in the middle. What Rescale does is we take all that complexity and we abstract it down into a simple point-and-click user interface. It just makes it really easy for those engineers and scientists to go do their work. They don't have to be IT professionals.
That's something I think everybody can appreciate. You know, you're saying, hey, we got to go procure, we got to figure this out. I remember back in my knock days, and my knuckle all still bear the scars of it, of the racking and stacking quick, because you had to go run a prototype, or we got to do a demo, we got a new customer running online. And I remember that lag being anywhere between a couple of weeks to multiple months, depending on what we got and where it was coming from. Now, to be able to take that burden and just completely schlep it off to the side and just focus on pushing the button and going and getting a thing done, I got to say, it's pretty transformational.
Yeah, we agree. We've been in this business for 13 years now, and we're built on AWS. Our customers run lots of their simulations on AWS and the latest hardware architectures. And yeah.
Very cool. Now, I've got another tough trivia question for you, and this is something that my inner nerd always loves to postulate on and argue with folks here. When would you use high-performance computing over generative AI, or is there a place for both of them in an individual workload? Or is it just that kind of, it depends sort of answer?
Oh, I'll take that one. So I have a lot of customers who are dealing with exactly that. And, sometimes they'll even show me slides like where they would have generative AI and they're replacing that. They're just cutting that out with like heuristics that make sense in the specific case that they're looking at. But they're able to use a platform like Rescale to achieve, massive parallelism, to do all of their tests in parallel. So they're still getting speed up. It's just not, and even with GPUs, sometimes it just depends. It really is about what they're trying to accomplish and how, and what's the best way to do that at the level of the science at that particular time. So, certain fields are more advanced in the use of generative AI, but not everyone. And so, sometimes take these same ideas that you might take for drug discovery and apply them to material science. And no, you're using just good old fashioned AI algorithms, or maybe just heuristics. So we can accommodate anything.
That's pretty awesome to hear. And, admittedly, as a self-appointed / kind of forced to be Gen AI SME on my teams recently, I'm not an expert, and I'm still trying to figure this out. And the more I talk to customers and partners, they too are trying to figure this out. It's to better understand when you would use one or another. And I think it's kind of forcing a bit of a reckoning where everybody is having to come back to the table and kind of be humble and say, yeah, I don't understand. Help me figure this out. This is a better way. But if both of you are kind of saying the exact same thing of, we've got a thing that helps demystify and make the better decision for you, so you can just get right at building the thing and discovering and learning and kind of scratching the curiosity itch. I got to say, that's pretty phenomenal, to be able to break it down to that level of the lowest common denominator, so that people just show up with the problem, get to work in the answer, then leave having learned a couple things. I would say that's very commendation worthy. Congrats.
Thanks.
So I've come to understand you might have a little demo, and we would be honored to get to that. Is there anything else that you would want folks to know before we jump into that, though? Tell us a little about what the demo is going to be doing.
Yeah, well, I'll be happy to show a demo. Let me share my screen. This is a demo of BioNeMo, which is a technology put forth by NVIDIA, and it is running on NVIDIA GPUs powered by AWS under the hood. So you can see how we take this entire technology stack and make this simple to use, so that you don't have to know how to put these things together in AWS natively. We do this for you. So yeah, it's now, I have to say too, I'm not a Gen AI expert. So what I did was basically look at the quick start guide from NVIDIA, which is awesome. And it told me exactly how to get started with a little pre-training example, but that's what you're going to see. So I'll just, for reference, there is this little quick start guide that NVIDIA has put together on BioNeMo. And I'll run through quickly, how we do this here. So I have a job running. So you can see like the punchline is it's achieved, before I even start, but I'll just walk you through how you would create this from scratch. So everyone asks about GPUs. So I'll start there. Yeah. This is creating a new job. So here, what you can see is focusing on the fabulous set of NVIDIA GPUs that we have. You can pick what you need with whatever interconnect you need to, for your purpose. So maybe you need a really powerful GPU. Maybe you just need something smaller, to run GROMACS or some other application that has nothing to do with generative AI, but is just molecular modeling or something like that. And you can pick from there.
If I may, it's pretty fantastic to see that drop down and, kind of really show what's under the hood. Some people maybe may have an excess of affinity, for lack of a better descriptor, to an older type of GPU model, or maybe it's the right one for that particular job, but being able to still have that flexibility, I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. There's a lot along that performance spectrum. So, and then I'll just show you, like, if you select a particular core type, if you're trying to do this sort of training at scale, you'll need multiple GPUs and they will need a fast interconnect. So just to show you without actually starting the job, just to give you an idea, you can start ratcheting up the number of nodes that you want. And assuming that you can get those, if you have those GPUs available to you at the time that you're trying to run, the cluster will start with the correct networking configuration. When Kevin was saying we try to make this easy for you, that's part of it, right? All of the networking fabric, making sure that MPI connectivity is set up correctly for, direct connect and CUDA, all the drivers are all in place. All of that is done by us to make sure that that works. So
as someone that recently kind of helped a peer set up CUDA drivers within the last 2 weeks, actually, has greatly appreciated, and that was like 4 hours of my life I will never get back. So if we can get that link thrown into the chat, that'd be awesome. That'd be good for me selfishly to have that to dog here. But I'm sorry, I digress.
Sorry, which link did you want? The
NVIDIA Quick Start would be fantastic.
NVIDIA Quick Start. Okay, so I'll just grab that and put that in here.
Great, thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So I'll just pick, like, let's just do one node here, and then let me go to the software. So here you can see that, like, I've got the NGC catalog, but I've also got a lot of other things, right? So there's 1,000+ applications here for all different domains of science and engineering that Rescale supports. So when I click, for example, on NGC catalog, you can see for each of these applications, we kind of have a template that shows you, what's in the quick start, like, what do you need to run? What do you need to do? And the first things here, basically, you need to pull the container and then you need to run it with the right options. Okay. So this is where I will fill in, my, my container. Let's go there. And then my run command. Okay. I have a little script which will go through the 2 commands to pull the data and do the training. So this is the BioNeMo script. It looks a bit scary, but it's all from that doc. So, and then you need an NGC key and you need NOR code. So these are here, and I guess because it's recorded, I won't pull them to show you, but it does save, like, my previous value. For example, I just won't show my key here. So you won't have to edit that out later. But that is how you set this job up. And then for again, for any inputs, I can upload the files that I want from my computer and load them up and then go. And you see, I can submit, there's SLAs that are provided for certain instance types and things like that. GPUs, as everyone knows, are a little harder to get. So it might be a little bit longer before you're able to find one. But now it's going to start. It won't run because I haven't put my key in there, but I can show you the running one.
Yeah.
And yeah. So the other thing I want to point out too is like under the hood here, this is all AWS EC2 instances. Those files I uploaded, those are going to S3 object storage. Okay. And if you need like a lot of storage, fast, high performance file system, we support FSX Lustre. So you don't even have to even attach it. It's just going to be there for you. So you can start your cluster and it will be there across your entire workspace. So everybody can collaborate and share data across all of that. And so that's really, it's done transparently and kind of in the way that makes sense. So
yeah, absolutely makes sense. If I've got an EKS cluster, I need to be able to attach this to, say that Lustre file system and start munging out things. Being able to do that and just kind of like hand that commonplace dumping ground, for lack of a descriptor, that's huge. I remember the old, MS SQL, hey, here's our scratch space, or hey, this is where the backup of the databases or the flat files are going. This is this on a much more sophisticated and really cool scale, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants. I'm going to quote you on that. The dumping ground. That's exactly it. Yeah, I keep telling people that. But anyway, just to highlight here, this is training slowly because this is a V100 that I did it because it was just I set it up before and it's a cheaper thing. So, but you can see that you're getting a live tail on the Unix tail commands. Look the log files and the output as this goes. If you don't like this, we also have ways to bring up a workstation so you can have a graphical user interface using nice DCV, for example. Another great technology from AWS, and you can also bring up a Jupyter notebook and work interactively with a Jupyter notebook to do your training and stuff. So it just depends, how you like to access it, what way you want to do it. A lot of people like the batch approach just because they're trying to maximize the use of the compute time and don't want to pay for a cluster to be up while you're doing things interactively. But otherwise, that's it.
Awesome. And, kind of chuckle at the end there, wanting to maximize the time and do things in batches. Like to bring that to, my own notoriously bad attempts at sometimes multitask. You want to make the most of the time, so you just go and use the right thing for it so that you get your time back and you can go and focus on the other things instead of sitting there hitting X a bunch of times or just running things in serial. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Well done.
Good.
Awesome.
I'm glad you like the demo.
Yeah, it's great. So if I'm a curious person and want to continue to learn more and do more, where can I go get more information? Would love anything that you can share with us in the audience as a parting thought.
I'll let Kevin take that one.
Okay. Yeah, you can visit our site, www.rescale.com, and you can, on the site, you can fill out a form to get in touch with a member of our team, request a demo, and that's probably the easiest way for a broad audience to sort of start engaging with us.
Yeah, awesome. I would assume that because you've partnered with both NVIDIA and AWS, is there like a partner page that folks can go click on to learn more about that?
There is. On our site, there is a tab for partners, and we do have an AWS partner page where you can view case studies, you can read a little bit more about our integrations with AWS, and so that would be another great place to explore how we work together.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate y'all coming on with us today. Gotta say, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what folks are going to use the technology for. I look forward to reading some of those case studies here after I get the opportunity to do so. And I look forward to our paths crossing in the future. For the rest of our audience, please bear in mind, there are a ton of other shows. We do have our weekly AWS On Air show, as well as Lockdown, Game Day, and a variety of other shows that are absolutely just as action-packed as this, with hosts far better than I am, and We are absolutely here for you, the audience, to help answer your questions and help you get things done. Again, my name is Adrian. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Adrian got one of the most important shows there in his interview, so I'm really happy about that. I mean, he got game day in there. That's all that really matters.
Nice.
No, that was a great segment from Rescale and NVIDIA. I urge everyone to go sign up for the webinar with Tara. 5 cats, like, come on, that's enough of a reason to go. Maybe one of the cats will show up. That's what I'm hoping for. I love cats, Todd. I love them.
It's unfortunate. I don't know if you got the memo about goats, but I'm going to tell you something. Here's how cool Amazon Bedrock is and image generation and stuff that we've been talking today. During that segment, I was only half paying attention.
What did you do?
I felt the creativity surging through my veins again. And Goatman, this idea of a metal band titled Goatman, and the idea that I could take a reference image and create something new from it. So I took some of my favorite metal album cover art, and I told Image Generator to create me a new album cover art with a band titled Goatman of a goat playing a guitar. And I'm really pumped with what it came back. I don't know if I can share that yet. Maybe when we get Nick on, he might be able to bring that up. But it's impressive what it came up with. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. But within a couple of minutes, I had this thing created brand new. I would never be able to do this on my own.
Look, Todd, so there's a long history in the cryptid community of goatmen, right? It's a very popular cryptid. I know I don't really give this off. Very buttoned down, kind of put together guy. I'm like real into cryptids, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, etc. I'm all about this. I see a lot of applications for my lifestyle brand that I'm, the cryptid lifestyle brand that I'm going to be pitching soon onto the internet. So yeah, I'm going to use this image generator to do that.
We're gonna get T-shirts made. I'm inspired right now. I'm ready. I've already got a few. I'm like thinking of some tunes in the back of my head. I'm ready to start chugging.
Yeah, look, you asked for drummers in the chat too. I got a drum kit over here, off camera. It's a Roland E kit, not to brag, I'm not bragging over here, just stating facts.
That's cool.
I can lay it down. We can put the tracks together.
I cheat. I always program my drums using Easy Drummer, so I'm a cheater there.
I don't know. Maybe a chat wants to see it. Maybe a chat wants to hear it. That could be something.
We could premiere it. If you do want to see it or hear anything like that, or want to encourage us, I invite you to fill out our survey and let us know if you got a song title suggestion or your own metal band suggestion. You can put that in the survey and get $10 in AWS credit. So we really appreciate the feedback. So please fill out that survey.
You put in the cities that you want us to add to our tour, where you want to come out and see us perform, Todd and me.
We'll do half the show as a live podcast about AWS, and the second half of the show is going to be just like really terrible metal.
Right. Yeah. Maybe we should do like a whole gamut of metal subgenres too. Get some grindcore in there, some screamo. Who knows? Sky's the limit here.
I'm excited. I'm inspired, dude. I'm telling you, I'm going to get into it.
Maybe we can use Titan, the text side of Titan, to generate a bunch of lyrics for us too.
Oh, I've actually done this, and there's some people doing this online, and it gets weird quickly. But hey, we got to figure out what Nick, our producer, is going to do in the band. Maybe he should come on and tell us what instrument he plays and what role he's going to fill in the band.
Wait, Nick's in the band?
Nick, do you want to be a part of our band?
I'm the leader of the band. Let's make that clear here. All right.
I'm the manager, man. I'm
clearly lead singer material. With these good looks, you can't put me behind an instrument.
Well, you're gonna have to prove yourself. If you're talking singer, you got to come on and give us a little sample of the pipes.
Not here. You know, I need to warm up first. The acoustics here just aren't quite right. You know,
I feel like you're maybe the Colonel Tom Parker role. You know, like for Elvis. Anybody Elvis? You know, he's the one who like signed up Elvis to a bunch of stuff that Elvis didn't want to do. He was the manager. Like that. That's how I feel. Our
the
relationship.
smart one. It sounds like that makes sense. Then that I would be that too, I guess. Todd, you mentioned some stuff that you were making. I had to immediately come on with this first. I got sent something from one of our wonderful viewers here during that segment that I just had to share here. Little AWS on air goat imagery, which I was chuckling at pretty good here backstage. So that was a pretty fun one. Had to share that one. So,
that's incredible.
Right. I'm definitely having some fun with this tool for the rest. I'm working the rest of the day, and at 5 o'clock, I will of course then be playing around. So I would not dream of doing this during working hours.
This is part of work. You're creating branded assets.
Actually, that's true. I'm testing the tool. Like, I think that's pretty important. Oh, it looks like Todd's is up here. Let's see what Todd
I was also
did.
inspired.
That looks amazing.
It's brutal.
Yeah. All right. Well, folks, there you go. You got absolutely should once workday is over, of course, play around with this after 5 o'clock. But
dude, I just want to highlight again how easy that was, how fast it was because of Amazon Bedrock. Like I logged into the AWS console, I went to Amazon Bedrock first. I had to give myself Bedrock. I had to give myself access to the model. So that's the first thing you want to do is make sure you have access to the model. And once you do, there's a whole playground. You can just start prompting and right there.
Yeah. Super simple. I mean, I'm the worst coder of all of us, and that's saying something because AM's on the show. But you know, even I am able to.
Hey, Colonel Tom.
I'm also glad you guys got my memo about the hats today. You know, we wanted to go with the theme, so that's good.
Did you switch hats?
What was that?
I think you were wearing a different hat.
No, I just had it on backwards and I switched it forward. There we go, AM. That's the way to go.
We're going hats forward.
Oh, man. All right. Well, there you go, folks. But as we're wrapping up here, guys, we got a couple of cool things coming up that we got to talk about. First and foremost, everybody, please take that survey that we've mentioned a couple times. Otherwise, I'm not going to have anything to read by the fireside tonight as I open a bottle of wine and I just, you know, I don't have a social life. So I just read everybody's survey comments all weekend as AM stacks his hats up. So let me know. What do you guys want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? How many hats do you think AM can actually stack on his head? We will make him contractually obligated to meet that number. So go ahead and fill out that survey. Let us know your thoughts. We do actually read them and take them into account for future shows. And guys, most importantly, it's that time of year again. The most wonderful time of the year for us AWS employees.
Halloween.
Sorry. That too. reInvent is coming up again this year. For everybody that doesn't know, the week after Thanksgiving, we go down to Vegas and we have some of our most exciting product launches of the year. Of course, Todd, AM, and I will all be on site hosting a show from Vegas that entire week, keeping everybody up to date on what's being announced. I always have a blast. But, you know, we're dropping a link in the chat here. Go ahead and register early. We love seeing you guys. Come by the booth, shout us out. Again, it is the first week after Thanksgiving. We're already starting to look at some of the stuff that will be debuted there that year. I think it's going to be one of the most exciting events in the 6 years that I have been doing this. So I encourage everybody, go sign up, register for reInvent. Come by, say hi to us at the booth if you're there. Again, tell us how many hats AM should wear at the event. We will make him wear it the entire time. So
yeah, I'm excited. My performance review, actually, can we have that as like a metric in my performance review?
Number of hats achieved?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's fine. Just as long as we're clear, you have to wear that number the entire 5-day event.
Wow. Okay.
Sleeping will be the hardest part.
So I will be at reInvent, like you said, at the AWS on air booth. I'll also be doing workshops during the day, and I'm thinking now I'm gonna moonlight. I'm gonna like schedule a few shows and moonlight some of our Goatman tunes at night at Vegas.
Am I
There we
invited?
go. You guys want
Are you invited? You're our lead guitarist.
Oh,
And
that's
drummer.
right.
You got to do all.
I do it
at the
both.
same time.
Bass too.
I think I'll hold down the bass.
You got the bass. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
slap the
I'll
bass.
go book us a venue and start warming up my pipes. I think by November they should be ready if I start warming up.
We
right
want to
now.
make this real nerdy. I'm going to start doing songs about cloud computing.
Oh, I mean, are there other kinds of music?
Dude, I think there's a niche there. There's a niche to carve out here.
100%.
Yeah, Forrest Brazil is a big proponent of this. If you've never heard of him, he does a bunch of cloud computing and computer science types. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Tambourine.
Our producer wants to be. There's no tambourine, Debbie.
Yeah, there's a tambourine.
Unbelievable.
Of course, you're in the band, Debbie. Don't worry. Don't let them bully you.
Do we have to let Debbie in?
Yes, absolutely. Can I please take a moment too, especially since my manager is watching, and shout out. There will be live in-person game days all throughout every day, Monday through Thursday, of reInvent down in Mandalay Bay. So they are available in the reInvent catalog today. You can go and like them or whatever the action that you can take, and soon you'll be able to reserve a seat. That's not open yet, but you will be able to later. But go and mark it. Put it in your agenda. Go play a game day, at least one. There's 4 to choose from in Mandalay Bay.
At least one.
Maybe some other things going on with game day at reInvent. There might be some surprises later that I can't talk about yet.
Besides you singing with the Goat Man.
Yes, yeah, we'll have a game day song. We could do like the theme song for game day.
There we go.
Todd.
All right.
Oh, dude, see, this is coming together. This is truly coming.
We're making this happen. You know what? If we get over 100 survey responses tonight, Todd, AM, and I will make this thing happen. That is our guarantee.
Hey, I like that.
We'll probably have to workshop the name, because I can almost guarantee you there's a band called the Goatman or Goatman.
Yeah, sure. It's so classic icon symbology. So AM, you're going to be there. You're going to be at reInvent doing game days. I'll be there doing workshops on AWS solutions. Nick's going to be there holding down the AWS booth. I mean, I think
I'm doing some roaming segments. I get to be our sideline reporter for all of our demos at reInvent.
Nice.
I get my step in. All right.
This just in. Nick Betts.
Yep. I got the microphone. Whole nine.
Breaking news.
Wow, that's a perfect impression of Nick's voice. That's
100%. I go full 1930s radio broadcaster. All right.
Debbie's
the real work. Keeping the rest of us on track. That is the real work here. But on that note, I'm going to drop and let you guys take the show out, because you're way better at it than I am. But remember, 100 or more survey responses this week. We will make a theme song, because we've said it on the air. So I think that's our promise to the people. All right. See you guys.
Thanks, Nick. Wow, this has been a pretty consequential episode for me. I'm now signing up to premiere music as Goatman. I've got a lot of songs that I've recorded. Some of them weird. Some of them I feel pretty proud about. I've never released them to anybody.
Really?
No.
You never put anything out there, Todd?
No, on occasion at a dinner party, I'll showcase a song and I'll have a good laugh, but that's about it.
Okay, well, I've published some music in the past. It's been over a decade, but you put a lot out there when you do that, Todd. I can see why you might have some hesitation.
I mean, doing shows like this, the first time I've ever done, I kind of went away from the internet. I like to create these weird kind of divisions in my life. I was farming. I wanted to be outside, and now I'm here online live on AWS with AM talking about
for the first time.
I hope we do more shows, AM. This is really fun.
Me too. I had a lot of fun with you today as well, Todd. Look, we got a band out of this, buddy.
That's what I'm saying. Consequential.
This is one from the lore books of AWS On Air, I think.
I like it. Hey, well, everybody, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you again next time on AWS On Air Fridays at what time again, AM?
12 p.m. Pacific time.
All right, and hopefully we'll be back with some updates on tunes. Take care, everybody.